But listen, let me tell you, maybe I should use you guys for a sneak preview of some of the stuff that's in the book.
Okay.
And there's certain things I want to say about certain people before they die, so that people could say, "Why didn't you say that when he was alive?" You see what I'm saying? And you know me, man. So I said, the first one I'll start with is the illustrious chairman of the Black Panther Party, my former leader and comrade, Bobby Seale. So should I drop something about that? With a little vignette?
Sure. I mean,
Look at you,
Select University.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
He's
Nah, I ain't gonna do
he
that.
gonna ask us if he should drop something about that.
But no, I ain't gonna do that. You gotta read the book. But I'll give you a little hint. Okay, I'll give you a little hint. I was going. I have over 400,000 pages of FBI files right now in Princeton University's archives, Princeton University, and I had to negotiate with them to make sure everybody has access to these files. For research purposes, et cetera, et cetera. Sadly, no Black university, no HBC university would take these files. Not even the Center for Black History in New York City, the Schomburg. None of them would take my files. Right. But Princeton jumped on it. So Princeton has my files, and they're getting my letters, my prison letters too. They should be getting those next month. So I have a book, hopefully, of political writings that's much better than the translation that I had folks in Europe deal with, because they were dealing with fascism in Europe. It scrambled up my stuff. But in the book, I talk about I start from the end, going to the beginning. And so when I was going over the files in my that I had in my possession, the FBI files, COINTELPRO files, the first wiretap on the Black Panther Party was at national headquarters in Oakland. That was the home office for all the wiretaps, and all of the subsequent surveillance to chapters. The first one was Oakland, California. Okay? And so a couple of years ago, I was I was transferring. I had a few boxes of FBI surveillance tapes of the Black Panther Party headquarters. And the surveillance tape recorded the activities, the conversations and phone calls of everybody in national headquarters. So every time the phone would ring, the tape would start. And I think at this time they had a physical person. This was long before the internet and everything. So I think they had a physical agent monitoring the tapes because they were using the old, cassette and, the old tape loop machines, the old primitive ones that we call primitive now. And so I found that, hundreds of conversations every time the chairman of the Black Panther Party, David Hilliard, every time David Hilliard would be asked to come on to the telephone, the FBI stopped the tapes. And they said, per order of, yada, 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 per order national of headquarters, they stopped the tapes. As soon as Hilliard got off the phone, they restarted the tapes. So there's no recorded conversations of David Hilliard, chief of staff of the Black Panther Party, during the crucial period when Bobby Seale was in prison, before the Panther Party 1 was arrested. There's no recorded statements of anyone, of David Hilliard, anywhere in the FBI files coming out of national headquarters. Now I don't know if they had wiretaps of David, maybe of another office when he traveled, and that didn't apply. So I consulted with some attorneys and some folks that know FBI procedures, and they said usually if the FBI cuts off the tape when a certain person is talking, and then cut it back on after they're off. And if these tapes are subpoenaed, say by a court, subsequently subpoenaed, this individual would not be on any of the recordings. So therefore, any allegations or anything of confidential information that they received from them would not, of course, be, have a thumbprint, a fingerprint. So I said, this is strange. Why the chief of staff? And then, of course, what you read later in my book, there was a complete, what they call a bereavement or a division between the Black Panther Party underground and the armed wing of the Black Panther Party, which later would become the BLA, and the above ground. And this was while Huey was in jail, while Bobby had just gotten arrested. This was right after 21 was arrested, and there was a whole lot of conflict, and the party had closed ranks, and all these things. All these things are in my book. But it occurred to me then, after Geronimo was busted in Texas. I mean, it occurred to me back then, after Geronimo was busted in Texas, and the individual that was sent along with him to keep him in check because they feared Eldridge Cleaver and Geronimo had some type of clandestine attack to undermine the leadership of Central Committee. He was arrested. He was caught. And later on, we found out that the individual was an informant that was with him from the Glass House tapes and all of that crap. Okay, so what I'm saying in the book is that it seems to be circumstantially that for my reading and my experience in the party, that the chairman, that the chief of staff of the Black Panther Party may have been an FBI asset. Not an informer, not someone that was on the payroll, but an asset. And I think those who know about counterintelligence activities of COINTELPRO during that period, there's a qualitative difference between a community, what they call a racial informant in the community, a paid informant infiltrator in the party, like the one that helped kill Fred Hampton, and FBI assets. In other words, dudes that released information to the enemy based on their internecine or internal politics that might favor them.